I'm here because of the election. I'm here too because of no, as I come, so no fight, nothing. Everything was going smoothly, and I thank God for that. And I may God bless NTA and INEC in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. Yes, let's get to meet another elderly who has been here since morning. He has coincidentally voted. And they've treated, giving preferential treatment to the elderly and the disabled here this morning. And he has since voted. He has been, hanging around because, according to him, he chose to be an observer, a domestic observer. Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
You're among the statistics of the elderly that is participating in the election.
Very sure.
And so how has it been going?
It has been peaceful, naturally. And that is what we expected. It didn't go out of the line. Edo State has been a peaceful state, and we are observing it as a peaceful election.
So how long have you been participating in election?
I will tell you, I can tell you is for decade. For decade is very sure that I have been participating. And I travel all along from Lagos to Benin City, because here is where I registered. I got here 5:30 this morning, and I am observing it as a person now.
And so how did you, was it fast? The voting?
Observe the fastest since I started voting in this unit and in this ward. It's the fastest, and I have gotten it like that. But what I'm still observing, domestically, there is no way we can throw away vote by. They are still doing it in every angle. To what I have observed, I can do my compilation, and I still send it to the appropriate court. Thank
you very much. I'm sure they will be willing to hear all you have to say as a domestic observer. And so we've also observed that different security personnel are on ground to keep the peace and ensure that all goes smoothly. As you know, Fisayo, this election is very important to Edo people. We've had 14 seats in the Edo State House of Assembly without representatives for years now, and this is an opportunity for those 14 constituencies, to get representatives, and so get someone to speak for them at the Halo Chambers. We'll go to other polling units and bring you reports as we see them.
Thank you, Obey Otobo Apresai. I always say thank you for your appraisal. But let's see, consider some of the things you said. Edo is peculiar. Even the issues of the State House assemblies are there in the public domain. The people who have an interest in the State House, this assembly, perhaps even more than any other state, simply because of what has happened transpired in the state till this point. So perhaps that will inform that turnout that we are seeing in Edo State. But we perhaps will hope that this is replicated in other states as well.
Yes, so the House of Assembly seats, we refer to them as the down ballots. The down ballots in the sense that those are ballots that are close to the people. It's about grassroots representation. People are being represented across state constituency. And so when you look at the situation in Edo State, in talking about the 14 seats, where the assembly members there, have not been inaugurated, since they were elected, that's a tragedy, because those 14 constituencies have lost quality representation in terms of having their elected members sit, to make laws for the entire state. So I think with this current ongoing elections, it will be an opportunity for the people of Edo State to now elect a house that hopefully will be cohesive. All the members will sit together. We'll not have a situation in which some members are sitting, others are not sitting. And so I think the election is an opportunity to resolve that political logjam that has dogged the state, and it's a good opportunity for the voters, especially in those constituencies that have not been represented in terms of their elected representatives being in the chambers, making laws, putting up proposals for the good governance of the state.
All right, a state that equally shares the same, perhaps, calibration like Kogi State in terms of political calculations. The seat government is still on seat, and state assemblies, having the elections is Kogi State. Francis Udojo, we spoke with our correspondent in Okene, but we are back to Lokoja now. Francis Udojo is standing by. Francis, what is happening in the Confluence city, and give us a situation report.
All right, good morning. This is Francis Udojo calling you live from Lokoja, the Kogi State capital. Lokoja is peaceful. I drove around the town this morning and discovered that a lot of people are moving around, doing one or two things, carrying out their daily activities, unlike that of the presidential election where everywhere was calm and then people were restricted. But in this case, there was actually movement in the morning, and people are going about their businesses. Those are selling things around are also going about their businesses. So nothing is actually happening here. But where I am right now is Okotepa Mosque, Karaworo Polling Unit 10. People are out exercising their franchise. Accreditation is ongoing, at the same time voting. But I have discovered that unlike the last election, people were much, they turn out en masse to exercise their franchise. But today, the number is very scanty. That is what is happening here right now.
Thank you, Francis. But you said that, there's movement and all that. Is this that there's no interest in the State Assembly elections in there, or what exactly can you deduce is the reason why there's a low turnout?
Okay, this is supposed to be a grassroots election of the State Assembly. We are supposed to have that of the gubernatorial election, but Kogi State is out of season at the moment, as our governorship election will be coming up in November. I guess it should be one of the reasons people tend to appreciate more of the governorship and presidential election. Like the presidential election, there was a lot of turnout, but in this case, people are not really out. I think that should be one of the reasons.
Thank you very much.
But I have a candidate here.
Go ahead.
I have a candidate here of the State Assembly, APC, Lokoja 1. He's been Abiya Shehu Tijani. He will tell us what he has observed and if he's satisfied with the process. Okay, tell us, how do you feel about this exercise here today?
Yes, I will say to God be the glory. As you can see for yourself, the exercise is going on smoothly, hitch-free, there's no problem. This morning we had a little bit of argument within ourselves, and then in less than 5 minutes it was resolved because we are all one. We are brothers and sisters here. This is a grassroots election. As you can see in this unit, so far so good. The ballot is 100. The first 100 is almost exhausted. So as far as this polling unit is concerned, there's a massive turnout, and I'm very sure the turnout of this polling unit will be more than the last general elections.
All right, from what we gathered, INEC officials are saying that machines are working perfectly well. So there is no hitch in that regard. And as we move from here, we'll also go to other polling units to give you feedback of what is happening in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital.
Thank you, Francis Udojo from Lokoja. Thank you very much. We'll probably come back also in the course of the day once the issues of counting and all that would begin. So you're watching Verdict 2023 on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We've gone around the nation. We've gotten some expert views. We get into the business end of the whole enterprise. So very shortly, we will be back. Don't forget, it is a one-stop shop where we give you the very best of news, reviews, and interviews. As far as the ballot is concerned, as far as the elections are concerned, and our reporters are still standing by to serve you better right after this break.
best self with new and exciting data plans from 9Mobile. Visit www.9mobile.com.ng or any of our 9Mobile Experience Center.
9Mobile. Here for you. Here.
I'm fascinated with the discourse on national monuments and assets and how much is being done to preserve and
look into the language issue. We have turned English to become like a pride value in our own cultural values.
It's not cash transfer. It's not a COVID-19.
Invasion 1897 was a deliberate
you know, many of these people coming to the urban areas now.
These and applications, there are terms and conditions.
Of course, it is the union of two people, a man and a woman coming together.
My name is Namdi Odipo.
And I'm Elizabeth Omori.
Welcome back. It's Verdict 2023 Studios on the Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's finest and largest, where we give you, you know, the best as far as this election is concerned. Let's go to Lagos. Babajide Sanwo-Olu is the governor of Lagos State. He's there now to cast his ballot. Let's take in the ambience from Lagos. Apologies for the visual from Lagos, but it's as we are getting them live and direct from the polling unit there in Lagos. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has arrived the polling unit, and our crew is there to see if they can capture the moment live or perhaps get an interview after the process. Our reporter was there earlier, Musa Toilat, while they were still waiting for the governor. He's there now. And of course, as we know, Lagos is always, you know, a big of activity when it comes to this. So it's not unexpected. But of course, the governor is facing some keen contests in this one. So this is Lagos.
Yes. So Lagos has presented a very, very interesting contest for this election. And some of the factors that have made that even more pronounced are the factors, you know, which we have flagged at the CDD, talking about the role of identity, ethnic identity, you know, identity in terms of intergenerational identity, you know, the role the young people are playing in the elections. And to state that, we have always made the point that when we talk about the youth in the electoral process, they are not a monolithic group of youth. So you have what they call the obedient youth, the APC youth, the PDP youth. So the youth is not a monolith. So they have their own different support bases. You know, candidates, you know, they are supporting, and so that has played out in terms of this election. In the presidential election, we saw situations of voter suppression, you know, during the presidential election. You know, some very
Okay, let's just take in the process. It's about to, go through the process now, and every media, including personal media, in terms of mobile phones on this one. So let's see him, go through the process, and perhaps he will grant an interview after that. We've been in Yola, we've spoken to Aisha Binani, and we hope to get the other contestants as well as once they come, to perform their civic duties as well. Still experiencing some flickers, but once that is tidied up, we'll be back. All right, it's a bit rowdy in that center in Lagos. Once Musa Tole and his crew get a clear picture of the governor and perhaps he grants an interview, we'll be able to, speak with them in Lagos. So that is that. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, of course, we're expecting Rose Vivo as well to come forward, Gbadebo Rose Vivo, as well as the PDP, candidate agent, of course, to be there. And there's some Nollywood interest in the PDP as well. So we would see all that pan out in Lagos. That's another state of interest as well.
Yes, so very interesting contest. And to say that the identity discussion in this election in Lagos State has been one of the very strong points. Why we like the fact that historically marginalized groups, in the political process have now come forward, that they want to be part of the process. We have always cautioned against, use of identity as a divisive, instrument, which we saw playing out. But I think towards the tail end of the campaign, we saw that a little bit going down. But you continue to have all of these discussions of where people come from, framing the narrative around the election, thereby ensuring that the needs, the governance challenges, the governance priorities, we should define an electoral contest, now taking the back seat. So, which is why CDD, looked, kind of pointed at Lagos as a state of interest, especially seeing how the presidential election played out. The fact that one of the third first parties actually won that election. But we then went on to state in our report that outsized expectations, should be tempered, because what played out in the presidential election was split voting, in which one party took it at the presidential level, but the party that lost at the presidential level in Lagos State still swept majority of the Senate and the House of Representatives, seats in Lagos. So that's to tell you that it's a very unique electorate, we are looking at. And so with the governorship, there's a lot more energy. There's a lot more, maybe you call it a fight back, from the party that lost the presidential election, to restate the fact that they are still on the ground. And, they have thrown everything into this political contest. The other side talking about...
All right, Lagos is ready. If we can get Lagos now, I think Lagos is ready. We are getting some pictures from there. Reporters are, jostling to see if they can get, a sight of what is happening very quickly. Once we get that, we will go back there. We were thinking that we'll get some clear signals from there, but we can still see that the jostling is still on. The media men are trying to capture the moment as well. But once that is ready, we will go back there. I think it's about to speak now. Let's go back to Lagos.
You can see It's a time for us as a people to see and to understand that this process is not meant to be a process of violence. Election that leads to a democratic process is the best form of a validation of what should be about. And so I want to reiterate again that this contest is about peace, and our country at large. All gentlemen of the press will continue to preach and to advocate
All right, at least I think we can get the gist of the matter. The governor appealing to Nigerians there. I think its audio is better now.
But there are a few disturbing videos that we've also seen where some parties, I'm told that they were doing one or two things which it's not verifiable, so I'm not going to talk about it. Right? But truly, really, it's just to say that I'm excited and I'm happy to be here. And I want to ask that all of our voters, all of our citizens should just remain vigilant. You know, if you see anything, say something, and just all let it come out, you know, and exercise our right freely, devoid of any form of acrimony or any form of protest or any form of intimidation. That is not acceptable as a government. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, mo fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wa pé àti débì ọlọ́dẹ fún wa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti ẹni pé ìyẹn ó lọ wọ́rọ́ ló ti jẹ́ pé àwọn olóró
It's not making any sense.
Èyí tá à ń ṣe yìí kò ń ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ kó bá jàgídíjàgan ètò ìdìbò ó jẹ́ gbogbo ọmọ ìlú Èkó gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà láti lè ṣe tó máa lọ wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́ọ́rọ́ tí ò ní sí ìjà tí ò ní sí ìtẹ̀jẹ̀ sílẹ̀ tí ò ní sí jàgídíjàgan la máa ṣe tó máa lọ lọ́lọ́rí náà bá ti ń jáde ẹ̀ lajú sílẹ̀ ẹ̀rí pé tẹ̀ ń ṣe pé kò sí wàhálà bẹ́ẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ ń sọ náà káàkiri pé gbogbo Èkó a máa tú jáde ní wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́ tá à ní ṣe níjà nítorí ẹ̀yin lẹ máa fi gómìnà àti gbogbo tó máa ṣe náà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀yin lẹ máa fi wọn sórí àṣẹ ẹni tó dẹ̀ máa ṣe yẹn ọwọ́ yín ló kù sí ọlọ́run dẹ̀ fún yín ṣe I want to thank all of you, gentlemen of the press, for turning out a large number here this morning. I'm hoping that what we have seen here will be a reflective of the sincerity of ensuring that that process truly is free, is fair, and is transparent for everyone to see. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
All right, Executive Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, appealing to voters to go about their duties lawfully and not to engage in violence there, speaking both in English and Yoruba there. Let's quickly go to Minna in Niger State, where our reporter Musa Makai is standing by. Musa.
At the back of a Techno House, polling unit 0013 with a registered voters of 141, where the Abga Goba candidate came to cast her ballot. Unfortunately, her name was not found. Good day, ma. You turn and look at her.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes. What's the challenge, ma?
So we are supposed to transfer. We did we registered our polling unit here. Our card is showing Lanzu ward and everything. But we changed back last election and came back here again. But it's like the transfer has not been effected according to the INEC staff. So we are not able to do the voting.
So what's your feeling about the situation?
It's not a nice feeling at all. It's something, it means that INEC needs to do more Yes. Thank you.
Be going around other polling booths to keep you updated with the latest happening.
Thank you very much. Kensington is standing by. Kensington, can you tell us where you are exactly?
This is Ward Unit 87 in Ojo local government area of Lagos State. As we can see, INEC officials are here now preparing themselves for the voting to start. I have with me, as we can see, some voters already on ground to begin to exercise their franchise. Immediately, the officials are ready. Sir, Mr. Olusegun Adewale, we can see that you've been here before now.
Yeah.
What are your expectations?
I believe that God will see us through, right? Because like last votings we do here, it's not like this. We've been here 6:30, but they came around after 10. But today we can see that there is amendment, and everything is clear that yes, they've done their homework, and we as a voters, we are going to do our own best and leave the rest for God.
So, like Mr. Adewale said, the INEC officials have done better today, and we still have people around. Sir, we are also seeing you here. Okay, you are a party agent. Do we have other party agents here?
Yes, of course.
Okay, can you tell us about INEC readiness for the election today?
Yes, so far so good. Today preparation was better than the previous one, the one they had on the 25th of February, simply because you can see that the INEC officials are already on ground. Like the other time, they were so a little bit late behind schedule, but now already they are here, and it shows that amendment have been made, correction have been made as well, and readiness of them conducting the election is under the way. And as so far so good, you can also see that the people that want to vote, they're already on ground, so waiting for them to put their materials on track.
So we also have another party agent here. You represent what political party?
Yes.
What party do you represent?
I'm representing PDP.
Okay, so how can you describe the preparation today?
Today, everything is already prepared. Both the INEC and the people, they are on the ground.
So from the assessments, anytime from now, they are ready to begin the voting proper. From right here in Ojo, I'm Jesuton Moses, NTA News.
Thank you, Jesuton Moses. Let's quickly go to Adamu Shuaibu in Jigawa. Adamu Shuaibu, are you ready?
This is Jigawa's Ada Primary School, where we have two polling units. These are polling units we visited earlier during the presidential and the National Assembly election. We observed that there was no provision for people with disabilities. And I have with me here Adamu Shuaibu, a former member of the Jigawa State Assembly, who will be speaking with us, who will be talking to us on issues that has to do with the provision for people with disability. Ali, please tell our viewers what is really happening here.
Yes, my name is Honorable Adamu Shuaibu, a former member of the Jigawa State House Assembly and a former Vice President of the Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities. As far as we are concerned, the persons with disabilities, there is a whole section in the amended Electoral Act that has stated that INEC should make all necessary arrangements, all necessary requirements so that persons with disabilities should be carried on. But it is unfortunate that as far as I'm concerned, so far the polling units that I visited this morning in my ward, Jigawa, local government, Jigawa State, there is no any polling unit out of the about 6 polling units that I have visited this morning. There's no provision of any assistive devices that will enhance the participation of persons with disabilities in this present electoral processes.
That has been Adamu Shuaibu talking to us on an issue that has to do with provision for people with disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you very much from Jigawa. Several things to talk about. I don't know if Bilkisu Abubakar is ready so that we can take our own intervention too before I bring in my new guest. Bilkisu, it's over to you in Yola.
Okay, sir. Right now we are
at the Aliu Mustafa College here in Yola, where a number of eligible voters have turned out, which is very impressive. People, especially the women and the young youths, were all out. The resident electoral commissioner here in Adamawa State, in person of Hudu Yunus Ari, we have met him monitoring the elections at the polling units. Beside me is the resident electoral commissioner. Sir, how far so far the situation in Adamawa State?
The situation in Adamawa is very impressive. The people are coming en masse. The weather is good, and all our viewers are working perfectly. So, and the people are very, very happy, queuing. And as I understand, people came here as early as 6 o'clock to cast their votes. So it shows people are very much interested, and they are very hopeful that the election will end peacefully. We have not witnessed any disorderly manner. All is well.
Looking at the Adamawa State, we have some difficult terrain, especially in Kogi, in Tongo local government and other areas. Is there any report as regards to the written out there with the sensitive materials?
Yes, we have Kogi around. We have to, from Adamawa, we have to move on to Taraba, through Taraba State. We are using machines to take the sensitive and non-sensitive materials to the polling units. And as I am told this morning, they reached and the voting have started. And likewise, the areas that are riverine, we are using the ferry to take the sensitive and non-sensitive materials. And I understand they are also doing very well. Yes.
Okay, is there any complaint so far in Adamawa State as regards to the election exercise?
No. There is no complaint. People are very happy and enthusiastic, and everybody, yes, all materials are available, and people are very happy queuing and casting their votes. When they cast their votes, they move away, and then people, you can see people there all around wanting to cast their votes, and they are orderly.
It's a pleasure to have you, sir. The resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa State, in person of Yunusa Hudu Ari, back to our studio in Abuja.
Thank you, Bilkisu. I need to commend you because I know the terrain in your state. That state is unique for several things. I think it's one of the few states we have an international border. We have mountains, we have valleys, we even have riverine areas. So the commissioner is, attending to several logistical issues that he needs to, surmount, and he says it's going smoothly. So we expect to hear from you later in the course of the day. And talking about INEC, logistics issues that have been raised, including inclusion for persons living with disabilities, and even some candidates who say they didn't even see their party logos on the ballot sheet. I don't think there's anybody more competent to give us some information and insight than my guest, but I understand that Ibadan is ready, and the governor, is it the governor that is getting ready, but one of the participants there, let's just go to Ibadan, and we'll be guided by a reporter there. There's the governor, Makinde, is there in Ibadan. No, Sheyi Makinde there, getting ready to vote, about voting in Ibadan. If we get clearer pictures, we'll get back there. But let me allow my guests to round off while we get to see Mr. Sheyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, out there getting ready to cast his ballot. Or is it concluded? All right, we're still waiting for signals, but we saw him about doing that. My guest, Ansfrey Ajanaku, is about to go, but before I let you go, let me quickly welcome Mr. Nick Daksang. He is the former Director of Voter Education Independent National Electoral Commission. You would, react to some of the issues raised so far by some of the stakeholders and voters as well. But final words before I let you go. I understand there's a press conference from your group shortly.
Yes, so our group is observing the elections, across all of the states. And so, we speak, on the basis of the data we have, and the data, already coming in. So we also have to brief stakeholders and the public and the press. So that's why I have to be back at our election analysis center. But just to say that the feelers, we have seen so far sitting in the studio are commendable. I want to commend Nigerians, people who have been out there since 6 a.m. insisting, that they have to, exercise their democratic rights. I think that is the spirit we need to sustain democracy in Nigeria. And good enough in the instances we have seen, INEC has lived up to the billing in terms of, getting to the polling units on time. We hope that that will be the same case, across the country.
All right, as I let you go, let's listen to Governor Makinde. All right, Governor Makinde, speaking to some issues there. Perhaps our reporter will be able to get there, but of course it's rowdy. There's always traffic around the governors in the state. And just like we said earlier, we've just been joined by Mr. Nick Dasang, former director, Voter Education, INEC. Some issues have been raised just before our guest left by some of the people who participated in the process. Some didn't see, even their parties, on the ballot. And then there's someone who raised an issue of the fact that in terms of, inclusion, no assistive materials in terms of persons living with disabilities. Let's quickly hear from the governor, then we'll come back.
People should be peaceful.
All right, it's still a bit rowdy out there in Ibadan. We will be monitoring our reporters to see when they get clear visuals and audio from the governor. Mr. Nick Dasang is just about to react to some of the issues raised by, voters as well. What are your comments, as I welcome you?
Well, let me say right away that from my monitoring of the conduct of the elections across the states of the Federation, I think we've seen a remarkable improvement in logistics. Most of the polling units opened on time. The INEC officials left the wards where they camped on good time. I was impressed particularly when I saw the clip from Rivers, where, the NTA showed the INEC ad hoc staff departing some of the camps, and in about 7 or so states that are also so, most of the polling units from Katsina, Daura, Yola, and so on, most of the polling units opened on time, and I think that is a vast improvement from the logistics challenges we had. Now accreditation has begun across the country, and so it's too early for us to say anything about the performance of the beavers until perhaps after the accreditation process is over and voting has begun. And then the true test of whether, the results will be uploaded on the INEC results viewing portal will be after the elections have been conducted, the votes have been sorted and counted, and the results have been imputed into the Form EC8A. Now, from what I've seen also, there are challenges like the missing logos that you have mentioned, about voters who have gone to cast their votes and they were turned down even though they had their PVCs. And then the honorable member who is physically challenged clearly and who said he visited a number of polling units, but there were no assistive devices to help voters who have challenges to vote. I think that we expect that given the...
All right, let's just, I know you will still make some interventions, but let's quickly join our reporter in Abeokuta very shortly, and then we will, Doris Olumoko is there in Abeokuta. Doris, it's over to you. All right, some pictures from Abeokuta. If I'm correct, that Senator Ibikunle Amosun participating in the process and some other political leaders in that axis. We were hoping to get some comments from our reporter on ground, Doris Olumoko, perhaps to put things in perspective. Perhaps we'll rejoin her in the course of this broadcast. But, Mr. Dazang, you were making a point.
Yes, I was saying that in terms of logistics, in terms of opening of polls, I will score INEC highly for that. But we have begun to see certain challenges manifesting themselves, like the logos of certain political parties not being on the ballots, which is unfortunate because the time frame should have given INEC, the latitude to improve on that, and also the fact that it began its logistics deployment early this time around. By Tuesday, Wednesday, most of these materials had reached the local government level, and they were sorted out right from the CBN, to the state offices before they reached the local government. So some of these missing logos should have been detected early, and then remedial measures taken. As to the assistive devices, I just hope that it's only isolated to Jigawa. Otherwise, I think that would be a big challenge, because in previous elections, particularly in the off-cycle or off-season governorship elections that took place in Edo, Ondo, Ekiti, and Osun, there was robust provision for magnifying glasses, for Braille, and so on. And then a premium preference was given to persons with disabilities, the aged and pregnant women, you know, to vote. And in fact, in certain jurisdictions where women don't queue with men, for example, in the north particularly, provision is made for women to queue separately and men to queue separately. But so far so good. We have seen high-profile persons, you know, cast their votes, from the president to governorship candidates to former governors and senators, and there were no challenges as in the past, where you could see a high-profile person going to exercise his franchise, and then either the beavers will have a glitch, he has to wait, or there will be one challenge or the other, but we've not seen any challenge so far. And hopefully by the time the accreditation is over, we hope to begin to get some reports from the commission itself, some interim reports as to the percentage of turnout, and then the accreditation. And by the same token, we expect also the, particularly civil society, who have situation rooms and who are observing the conduct of the elections, to give some preliminary reports about the conduct of the election. But what we have seen,
all right, let's hear from Senator Amosun on the process. So okay. If we can get Doris Olumoko to speak with him, I can see that they're just getting ready for the interview now. So if we Doris, go ahead.
In Abeokuta, where the former governor of Ogun and his wife, Senator Ibikule, must cast his ballot alongside his wife. Now we're going to tell us about the process. Yeah, Senator, distinguished your ballot and impression about the process of this electoral process.
But I think it's nice. At least we have somewhere, because when I came last, I mean, you know, the atmosphere was not conducive. To make it conducive, and now the beavers works, because when we came the last time, I waited for almost 2 hours. The beavers worked, so at least.
All right, distinguished senator. Apart from the issue of the beavers, if you compare to this process with the last National Assembly and presidential election, talking about the voters' turnout, what do you have to say?
Well, whether more people.
All right, you know, a few technical challenges, perhaps with, you know, network and all that in that axis, of course, is live. Perhaps Doris will still reach us again from another location, preferably, so that we can get clean audio signals there. Mr. Nick Dagzang, former Director of Voter Education, INEC, is still here with us. So far, so good in terms of these beavers, bimodal voters accreditation system. The INEC made promises that it would deliver as far as early, setting up of, the polling units is concerned. They've done that. And for some of the failures we've, gotten, it seems as if so far smooth sail.
Yes. I think if what we have seen is a representation of what is happening across the country, then the elections would have gone significantly well.
Unlike last week, whereby the beavers wasn't working for extended periods of time, at least we've come in and we've been able to cast our votes immediately. So I hope that the process continues like this today, because last week at about 11 o'clock, people were complaining that they had been there from 7 a.m. and they still hadn't been able to cast their vote. But I think today, things are going well. Very much. That's of the former governor of Ogun State and now senator representing Ogun State just cast her ballots. Now, generally, from here in Abeokuta, the voting process is going on smoothly, and for now, there's been no issue of electoral violence or whatever of such. But if we have any such information, we keep you posted as we continue monitoring today's electoral process in Abeokuta, Ogun State. I am Doris Olumoko.
Thank you, Doris Olumoko, reporting not far from Olumorok. Okay, so let's move from there to Governor Ifeanyi Okowa is also there in Delta State. We have visuals from there. Very shortly, we will hear from Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State. Once we see the pictures now, we'll just join our reporter on ground if Delta is ready for us very shortly, and so that we can join them for the actuality from Delta. All right, Governor of